Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SaberBeast. Now, the title of this video is either something along the lines of I bang my head against the wall forever and then finally give up, or it's something nice and simple, like SaberBeast. Hard mode beaten, nice and simple. One thing I wanted to point out that I didn't actually notice, I only noticed this in editing, there's little medals down here. You get this one for beating normal mode, this one for beating overdose mode, and then there's another medal that you get for beating brutal mode, which presumably is going to be red, I'd guess, since this is purple like this is blue like this. Okay? Okay, so, a quick moment to talk about how the format of this video is going to work. I have no idea how long this is going to take me. I'm going to keep doing this all day, basically, until either I go mad or I win, one or the other. I'm not interested in my time. I don't care about the time. I'm not interested in the time. All I care about is winning, getting through this successfully. I didn't really show it spikes on your back, though. That reminds me of a death claw. Not like the Fallout 476 style of death claw, like the good old classic death claws from 3 and 4. From 3 in Vegas is what I'm trying to say, with the proper spikes out their back. Proper death claws. Back in my day, we had proper death claws. I don't know why people from the past have southern accents. I don't know. Frankly, I'm going insane because I've had basically no sleep because the neighbours kept me up half the night, and then I had loads of nightmares. One of which was about riding a bed down a road trying to avoid random bales of hay. Anyway, I'm in a really good place to try and beat this amazingly difficult game, aren't I? Anyway. So, basic system of how this is going to work. I'm going to play this silently. I may put a little voiceover explaining a few tactics as I go along, because if I do beat this, I don't know, maybe somebody will watch this hoping for a bit of strategy advice. So I may do a little voiceover of my winning run, if there is one. I don't know. I'm just going to get in this and do this and just sort of try and see what happens. Okay. It's also really cold in here, hence the jumper. So that's fun. I'm cold, I'm tired, I'm half asleep. Oh man alive, this is lovely. Sorry, obviously I spent half the night editing. I can't get my mouse sensitivity changed. Why is that? There we go, that's better. Oh man, my brain is still wired for the old setup. Hang on a minute, have I gone the right way or not? Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I spent the whole night editing the, I said the whole night, there was a lot of footage, but oh yeah, I forgot it's not here anymore. Oh, this is going to be fun. Trying to win this. It's just nice and seeing it without the overdose, pulsating visual effect gubbins. Because I spent ages editing that last night, which took a long time because there was an awful lot of footage. I need to learn the new locations for metal detectors as well, because there isn't one by the exit. Assuming that is still the exit, there are other doors that are similar to that, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if they've changed the location of the door. That wouldn't surprise me even a little bit. Because if they're devious enough to move the metal detector and move the entire map around, I wouldn't put it at all past them to move the exit as well, particularly since that's going to be a very panicky moment. But right, okay, that's enough talking. I'm going to zip it now. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm also going to try and keep this video relatively short. I'm not going to hopefully let it get more than about 20 minutes long, because there's no point in that. Okay, strap yourselves in and get ready to die a lot. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Editing Phil from the future, having finished recording this. As you can tell from the title, I did win this game in the in this session, and I want to take a few minutes to explain to you how I did that and how I got to the point where I could actually win the game. So the first thing that I need to do is explain to you how the game works and how you approach it in the first place. So the first thing that you need to understand is that the placement of the gold runes that you need to collect is not random. It's very important that you realize that it's not a random setup. There are a specific number of different layouts. You've got your map, and there's a varying number of different scenarios that it can choose, and it will choose one at random, and it'll give you that, and you'll have to deal with it as best you can. So there's about 6 or 7 different layouts, I reckon. I think there are, of different runes that there are to collect. So you need to go around and you need to get all of them, and then you need to go back through the door in the room where the statues are. That's the place where you end. So that's the basic setup of the map. Obviously the map is mirrored to how it is in normal mode and overdose mode. I've said that already. How do the enemies differ? The enemies differ not by much. I learned a lot more about how the enemies work while playing brutal mode, but I don't think they actually change much. The only definite change that I can see has occurred is that SaberBeast moves faster. If you're running down a straight corridor in normal mode and you keep running the whole way, SaberBeast will take a very long time to catch you, or he may not even be able to catch you if you're just running in a straight line. I don't know if he outruns you or not. I'm pretty much convinced that in brutal mode he moves faster than that, and that is something you have to be very aware of. But here's the thing about SaberBeast that I didn't realise while playing in normal mode, and I only realised in playing brutal mode. He doesn't always move, and this is the clincher. This is why in about my first hour of attempts I didn't actually win at all. I didn't even come close to winning because I didn't realise how it worked. SaberBeast only moves under a set of given circumstances. He stands still if you're not doing one of 3 things. If you are shaking your torch around, which you need to do to scare off the tentacle monster, doing that will make him move. Sprinting will make him move. And when you're being jump scared by tentacle monster, that will make him move as well. So those are the 3 things that you need to be aware of that he will move by. There is one other thing that makes him move, but I'll come back to that in a minute. So what you then realise is that if you don't move and you don't shake your light, you can't be killed by SaberBeast. However, he will kill you when the tentacle monster jump scares you. That is one of the times when he can move. So what you need to do is to go around, don't sprint, and don't shake your torch when you don't need to. Go around the outskirts of the map, get the runes that are furthest away from the statue room, collect those ones up, and then head back inside and collect more. Obviously, the more you practice, the better your mental map of the crypt will get. Mine got very good by the end of it, but that's after many hours of playing. So you'll need to develop that, and you'll also need to develop an efficient route to go around, which I could explain, but that would be very boring and is a very technical thing. But it's basically you just go around the outskirts and then you circle back inside and you come closer and closer and closer. The idea is because you want to get the last rune the closest to the statue room as you can, okay? And there are different setups of the runes. Some of them, in one of the setups, there are runes in the statue room. In other ones, there are runes very close to the statue room, okay? So it depends on which one you get, but that's the overarching strategy that you need to do. You need to make sure that the first ones you get are away from the statue room, and the last ones you get are closer to it. And here's the reason why that matters. Throughout your playthrough, it's very important that you balance your needs. You have 2 needs. You need to keep the tentacle monster away from you, because you don't want him to jump scare you, because that will allow SaberBeast to get closer to you. And you also do not want to be allowing SaberBeast to move. So that means don't sprint and don't shake your flashlight. Don't shake your torch, rather. So when you're going around, do not sprint and do not shake your flashlight. You'll have a while until Tentacle Monster finds you and starts chasing you. When he does, you then need to move into a different tactic, okay? You need to double up your sprinting, and your shaking of the torch. What you need to do is listen for him. This game is very much about auditory focus. It's almost completely irrelevant that you can see anything. Seeing is not important, except for SaberBeast, but I'll come back to that in a minute. What you need to do is you need to listen. He'll make a low-pitched roar when he's getting close to you. That's when you need to shake your torch to scare him off, but also sprint. Because shaking your torch and sprinting will make SaberBeast move, but he will not move any faster if you do them both at the same time. So if you just shake your torch, you will scare Tentacle Monster away, but you will not make up as much distance as you could be making up if you also sprint at the same time, okay? So what you need to do is listen for that low-pitched roar of Tentacle Monster. That means he's close. Then sprint, shake your torch, and run away from him, okay? And then wait, and keep sprinting, and keep shaking your flashlight until you hear another roar. It's a bit more high-pitched. It's another roar from Tentacle Monster that you can hear, and that means he's the distance away, okay? He's a good distance away from you at that point. That's when you should stop. Stop sprinting and stop shaking your flashlight. Then the procedure starts again. Wait for him to get close. You'll hear the low-pitched roar. Shake and sprint. He'll move away again, okay? So you need to keep doing that balance. That, to me, seemed like the ideal way of keeping him away while minimizing the amount of time that you're doing things that trigger SaberBeast. Now, a couple of other things you need to realize is that SaberBeast will move while you're getting jump scared, but he won't move permanently. It won't trigger him to move and then he'll never stop again. You can get jump scared by Tentacle Monster, and then SaberBeast will stop moving as soon as the jump scare is over. So depending on how far away SaberBeast is, when you get jump scared, you can survive and it may be fine. What you need to remember, however, is that SaberBeast will be picking up ground on you throughout that jump scare, which lasts a good 5 or 7 seconds. I'm not quite sure how long it is, but it's a long time, and SaberBeast will make up a lot of distance in that time. So you can afford to get jump scared by Tentacle Monster once, and only once. If you get jump scared by him again, if you get jump scared a second time, SaberBeast will kill you. There's no two ways about it. He will definitely kill you because he will have made up enough distance on you. So that's the balancing act that you need to do for the two enemies. You need to keep Tentacle Monster away with the tactics I've just explained, while not overusing them to the point where SaberBeast can catch you, okay? And throughout this time, you want to be going around in the most efficient way that you can be doing, collecting up the runes and getting to the statue room when you've got all 7. Now, when you get all 7, something very important happens, and this is what ties the whole thing together. SaberBeast starts to move completely independently. Sprinting and shaking the torch no longer does anything to stop him, okay? That does not make him run faster, that doesn't stop him from running, it does nothing. So at this point, you want to sprint and shake your torch constantly, okay? So you pick up your 7th rune, it says escape, the music will then kick up, and what you need to do is sprint and shake your flashlight all the way to the statue room and go out the door, okay? It's very important that you do that, because otherwise you'll not be going fast enough. Because SaberBeast runs faster, he can outrun you and he will catch you pretty quickly, okay? So that's why you need to get the last rune being as close to the statue room as possible, and you must sprint from the very first second after getting the 7th rune to the very end. Sprint the whole way, and keep shaking your torch the whole way, because that will push away the Tentacle Monster, which will prevent him from jump scaring you and allowing SaberBeast to pick up that distance on you that he needs in order to kill you, okay? A couple of other things you need to realise is that the game will constantly try and scare you with the music. It uses the music as a scare tactic to try and make you nervous and to try to make you run. That's what it's doing. The music kicks up in proximity to SaberBeast. Like, I have been walking down a corridor and SaberBeast has been around the corner and the music has kicked up. He's not moving and he can't hurt me, but the music is kicked up because he's close enough. So it's that sets off the proximity sensor, which sets the music going. And the point of that, in terms of the design of the game, is to make you panic so you run. And it wants you to run because then SaberBeast will be able to move and he'll be able to kill you. Okay? So if the music kicks up, do not panic. Okay? It is so important that you don't panic, and it's so important that you don't get scared by that. It just means you're close to him. Okay? And it means you know where he is, which is a useful piece of information to have in your brain. Speaking of information that you need to have in your brain, if you're able to psychologically multitask enough, you should count how many runes you've got as you're going along, because there is not a counter, at least at the time of making this recording, there is not a counter to indicate the number of runes that you have collected out of 7. So it's a good idea to have that counting if you can. I tried to do that, I couldn't do it all the time, but I did it where I could. So, that's how you need to treat the music. But the other thing that the music will do is it will also try and drown out the amount of sound that Tentacle Monster is making. And as I said earlier, it's very important you listen to Tentacle Monster, because you need to listen for his roars, which tell you how to balance the removal of him, okay? Something else you need to be aware of in terms of sound is there is a heartbeat. I didn't realise this until much later into the game, but there is a heartbeat that's being played. I thought they were SaberBeast's footsteps, and I think it is actually there to make you think it's SaberBeast's footsteps, even though in reality it's not him. There's a little heartbeat that goes along, which sounds like his footsteps, so you think he's nearby, you think he's patrolling, you think he's coming after you. But don't let that fool you. He does make footsteps, but only when he's actually chasing you. And you can listen to those footsteps in order to tell how far away he is, but there's not really any point to that, because that information doesn't really help you. It doesn't really do you any good to be aware of that information. Is there anything else? Oh yes, when you're running away from him, the one thing that you can do to pick up a little bit of ground is cutting corners. You can take the corner as sharp as possible. If you take the corners very, very carefully, you can take them nice and sharp and save yourself a minute amount of distance that can buy you another tenth of a second, and that could be the difference between getting over the threshold and not. The other thing I need to say that I forgot to say at the beginning is that, as I said previously, the metal detector is no longer in the statue room. It is in a number of other places that you can get it from, and they are in set places. It's not random, it's always in the same places. I think there's at least 2. There's one in a cell, and then there's one in the passageway that curves around at the very furthest end of the crypt. So there's definitely those 2 places. There's maybe more, I'm not sure. But you can also not panic before you pick up the metal detector and the torch, because you can sprint before then. SaberBeast doesn't care. I don't even think SaberBeast spawns until you pick up. Maybe it's the first rune or it's the metal detector, I'm not sure. But sprint to wherever you're getting your metal detector from, pick up your metal detector and your torch, then get your runes in the most efficient way. Don't sprint. Manage Tentacle Monster as best you can. Don't panic about the sounds, and try to end your run nearest to the statue room as you can. The only other tip that I can think of that is important to remember is that little staircase, that little 2-part staircase in the statue room where you can go down, it is useful because you can kind of fall down it. There's on the right hand side there are the stairs, on the left hand side there's not. If you go on the left hand side and you just fall down, you cannot be moving during that time, which means you can get to the lower level without SaberBeast moving during that 0.8 of a second or whatever it is. So that's another useful way that you can pick up a tiny micron of time in order to do that. If, and you shouldn't need to, but if you do need to use the hole in the ground, and if you do end up using it, when you go through it, make sure that SaberBeast is right outside the door when you do it, to maximise the amount of distance you'll gain on him. If you're going to back into the hole, that's absolutely fine. Back into the hole and then run forwards, past the leaderboard, which will be on your left. Do not, under any circumstances, go down the hole and then go up the ramp, because that then leaves you practically right next to where SaberBeast will be. And under absolutely no circumstances, go up that ramp and turn left, because you will walk into him and you will always die in that situation. Okay, I think that is all of the strategy points that I came up with while playing this game. Now I'm going to let you watch my winning run. Okay? Thank you. See, my imagination, when I come down here and do this bit, do I get caught more often? Am I seeing a correlation there where none exists? I don't know. You've probably got a better idea of that because you've been able to rewatch the footage without actually playing the game at the same time, but I feel like when I use this strategy I get caught more. I don't know. And I am doubling over a little bit of ground there that maybe I could avoid doing. Maybe if I came up there instead. Yeah, I think if I came up there instead of going back into that big square room, I think if I just came up here, checked that, and then went around that corner there to check this spot here. Just check that spot, and then come over here, I think that would work better. Man, there are no runes out today. Oh really, it's this one? It's this layout, okay. I got so excited my glasses flew off. Ladies and gentlemen, I have done it! Oh! Oh, and I just punched myself in the balls! Oh! Ow! Ow, and I've knocked the heater over! Ow! Oh, caution, I'm the second fastest ever! Ow, my balls. Ow. I got so excited I hit myself in the crotch. Where's my overdose medal gone? Give me my overdose medal back. Oh, God. It feels good. But at the same time, it hurts, kids. It hurts. Oh, gosh. Okay. Man, did I ever tell you about the time I was laying in bed one night and a fly... I was scratching my ear and a fly landed on the back of my hand, and I looked down and I saw a black blob and I thought it was a spider. So I threw, being arachnophobic, I threw my hand away to move it very quickly. Only I did it so fast, then I didn't look at where my hand was going, and I accidentally walloped my hand into exactly the same place where I just hit it. So, yeah. I know you came here to see me win this game, and you just have seen me win this game, and here's me talking about my balls, and the fact that I've bludgeoned them. Never mind, I'm holding back the agony and, the tears. Oh man. Press X to go in and out of cinematic mode. What? I never saw that before. Oh, for like this. Oh, interesting. Can you do that in the game? I don't know. Frankly, I don't care. Oh gosh, it feels good. It feels good. It took 3 hours and 50 minutes. Actually, no, it took slightly less than that. It took about like 3.5 hours because I took like a 20-minute break to eat a brownie and pay the rent. But I did it. I am the second fastest player of this mode. I beat brutal mode and I did it in, what does it say, like 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Oh man, I don't know how this person did it in a minute and a half. Well done to them is all I can say. That's incredible, doing that in 90 seconds. I don't know how you did that. I honestly don't know how I won that last round because I genuinely didn't think I would win it. But never mind. That's that. There you go, Lewis. I hope I made you proud. I hope I made you proud. I beat your game, just about, and I did it in the second fastest time, which absolutely shocks me. But yeah, that's that. That is SaberBeast. SaberBeast is brilliant. I really like it. At first, I was a little hesitant about complimenting this game as much as I complimented Guardian Angel, because it seemed more random. The placement of the runes, the behavior of the bad guys, it seemed more random, and I didn't like that. It seemed like RNG, and it seemed like you could only win if you happened to get the right set of circumstances all over the place. But then as I continued throughout brutal mode, I realized that that's not actually the case. I don't honestly think there is a single random element in this game. Everything is planned and everything is set up very carefully, and everything makes sense. I'm still really annoyed about the fact that my overdose medal is gone, but never mind. Never mind. There's video proof of me winning, so I don't care at this point, but it would just be nice to have all 3 medals down there. I don't know, maybe you have to beat them in the right order for it all. I don't know, and I don't care. I won! Do I look like I care? But no, nothing in this game is random, which is great. That's what I loved about Guardian Angel. Nothing was random, and each time I tried to beat Guardian Angel, and each time I tried to beat brutal mode of SaberBeast, each time I was playing it and I was thinking, so that's what I did wrong. Okay, if I adjust my strategy this way, I can fix it. Like in Guardian Angel, when I was finding the best route of the switches, and I was thinking, okay, I mustn't go over the hill, and I need to flash everybody before I flip a switch. I need to make sure I've got some sprint saved up before I flip a switch. Here it was exactly the same. It was learning about what makes SaberBeast move. It was learning about how to balance moving tentacle monster away while they're not getting SaberBeast too close. It was about memorizing the map. It was about... I still think the fact that the map is mirrored in normal mode to brutal mode, that is the most evil decision I've ever seen in a game, and I love it. That's brilliant. That's genius. But this is brilliant. This is genuinely fantastic. I really enjoyed playing this. Whether I've said it or not in this part, I don't know. I don't know what footage you've just seen, because like I say, I've recorded 3 hours and 40 minutes of footage today. I don't know what you're going to see. I haven't figured out how the format of the video is going to work yet. I'll do that in a minute. I need to eat first, because I'm starving hungry. But this has been brilliant. I have genuinely had the time of my life playing this game. It's so good. I really like it. I'm proud of myself, which is not a thing I feel very often. I think, like... here on YouTube, I've only really felt proud a couple of times of the stuff that I've done, and beating SaberBeast and Guardian Angel are 2 of the things that have really made me feel proud. So there we are, that's that. I'm sorry I yacked for so long, both at the beginning and the end, but anyway, that is SaberBeast. That is brutal mode done. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen, for a truly fantastic game. I hope you enjoyed it, Lewis. I certainly enjoyed what you made, so I hope you enjoyed what I've made. Thank you very much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.